Anyway, let's move on to our flying reptiles, which have had some improvements, like the Barbaridactylus having the iconic nyctosaurid crest. So they also come in both male and female for most of these pterosaurs, at least the ones that have crests. So let's have a look. Oh wow, look at that! Isn't that glorious? For those who have interacted with the Barbaridactylus from the late Cretaceous pack, it really did not have this crest, or a crest of this scale even. Had a very much reduced crest, and honestly, I prefer this one. This one looks fantastic. I love how it just... the crest is just massive. Like, I don't know how they hold their heads up, but I'm pretty sure it's light and air-filled, so that might be a reason, but it is just one of those things in nature that is just there to impress the opposite sex. And pterosaurs seem to have had that in abundance, with large crests, large beaks, and bright colours. So I think there was a female Barbaridactylus that released... yeah, here she is. So she has a much smaller crest compared to the males, and yeah, it's great to have that sexual dimorphism going on. Oh, we're going to see a hunterfish. There we go. Those fish honestly look a whole lot bigger than what she can fit in her bill. Now we're going to see this male hunt as well. Look at that. Glorious. So next is Cearadactylus. So I think when I started this incubation, I got 1 male and 3 females. So the male has largely not been changed from how it looked in the base game. So it still has that crest, although the crest I think has changed shape, and even the smaller ridges on the beak, they have been enlarged somewhat. But when you look at the females, they are completely bald of that crest, and looking very much like the Cearadactylus that were depicted in the Jurassic Park novelization. And looks really cool. We've got a... ooh, wow, this one's striking. Green and orange. And I think this was another purple, yep. One of the only pterosaurs, if not the only pterosaur that doesn't have... oh no, Jeholopterus doesn't either. So 2 pterosaurs don't have sexual dimorphism, as like there probably wouldn't be too much to differentiate them anyway, like they don't have crests, but this is Dimorphodon. And they look fantastic. Look at that. So Dimorphodon actually means double-toothed lizard, or double dentition. And yeah, you can really see that you've got these large prong-like teeth at the front, and then you get molars, or like crunching teeth at the back. And the Jurassic World Dimorphodon just really didn't have that, let alone looking like it actually has a beak. This one certainly does. And it's actually quite cute. I mean, it may have huge teeth that could bite off a finger, but yeah, he's just a little guy with a massive head. Now let's have a look at some of the others. I really like how this one looks. I think I easily prefer this over the Jurassic World Dimorphodon, honestly. Look how pretty he is. Oh wow, this one's bright, isn't it? Like, that's some nice red, and there's even some blue. Okay, it's not letting me get close enough. Oh, capture mode. I keep forgetting that that exists. But look at that. Don't they look fantastic? And I think they do have sort of like a pycnofiber shading on them. I think most of these pterosaurs would have that. Yeah, you can see on the Cearadactylus here, it's got it on the belly. Not sure about the Barbaridactylus, but yeah, look at this Dimorphodon. Wonderful stuff. Next we have Dsungaripterus from the early Cretaceous. So, so this one really didn't have too much wrong with it. But what I do know it has had is sexual dimorphism added into its variants. So you've got this one, which is a big male, and I think this one's a female with a much smaller crest. Looking very much like the Dsungaripterus that you get with the early Cretaceous pack. Let's just see if... Oh no, this is a female. So she has a much smaller crest than those two guys. And it doesn't have any colours on it, so... Okay, that should have been a hint for me. But it looks really nice. Dsungaripterus is one of those pterosaurs that has got a very distinct look, with a large crest blending in with the bill. And yeah, looks fantastic. Dsungaripterus is just one of those classic Jurassic franchise pterosaurs nowadays, as it has been included in all three major Jurassic World games. Jurassic World Evolution 2, Jurassic World the game, and Jurassic World Live as well. And I think it was those games that first introduced me to Dsungaripterus. So now we have Geosternbergia, which is actually renamed in the I think genome library as Pteranodon Sternbergi, if I look at its variants. Let's see. Yep, Pteranodon Sternbergi, because Geosternbergia, I don't know if it's its own... It's not really its own name. At least that's what I'm assuming. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like it is at least closely related to Pteranodon. Look at the size of that head. The beak is longer than its body. This guy is massive. So the male Geosternbergia has that larger crest, and then the female has a largely reduced one. Looking very much like a classic Pteranodon that you generally see in paleo art. But speaking of that Pteranodon, once we get to it, we've got to get through Jeholopterus and Maaradactylus. Oh, there we go. Our little bat-like pterosaur, Jeholopterus. So this one hasn't really had much changed from it, except for the tufts of feathers that it did have when it first released with the Feathered Species pack. So it had almost horn-like feathers, sort of making it look a bit like a great horned owl. But those have been taken away, and it now looks much more like a conventional Oneirognathid. And there is an insect fetus somewhere in here, but I think we'll be waiting a while for them to actually reach it. Oh, look at that! Got pterosaurs perching up on the log, doing exactly what I was hoping they'd do. Oh, Dimorphodon looks pretty cool there. And you got a Cearadactylus just sleeping there too. Oh, was a Jeholopterus just going to land? Oh, I need to use capture mode. I don't know. There is a Dsungaripterus, but it may have... I'll be spending ages looking for... Oh no, here he is. Just chilling here. Look at that. So next we have Maaradactylus, one of the toothiest pterosaurs that we had in the base game. Now, I don't think this one actually has too much different between the male and the female. I'm kind of not sure which one's which. Okay, now this one's the male. So he has a much larger crest and brighter colours. I think I should just get used to that. If it's a male, it's got bright colours. But yeah, he looks fantastic. And the Maaradactylus in the base game did have a lot more teeth than this. But I think this one sort of blends that together a lot nicer, although sometimes it looks like the teeth are actually going through the beak. But it looks really good. I love how it looks. And now we have Pteranodon. I don't think you can get a much more classic pterosaur than Pteranodon. And yeah, looks really good. I have seen in most recent paleo art that the lower jaw of the Pteranodon is actually shorter than the top one. I don't quite know what purpose it serves necessarily, but it might just help with fishing, I'm not sure, but it looks really nice. I love the bright colours, the huge crest on the male, and the female having a much shorter crest, and a shorter beak too. Oh wow, you can see the difference in size. Like Dsungaripterus is as long as its own beak. Like even Dimorphodon's almost the size of the Dsungaripterus. Now we have our largest pterosaur, the Quetzalcoatlus. So first we have the male releasing. Yeah, so the size couldn't exactly be brought down for this one, so it is still the same size as the Jurassic World Dominion Quetzalcoatlus, but having a more accurate design. Looking somewhat like Prehistoric Planet a bit. Although this is a male, I think the female is pretty much exactly the one from Prehistoric Kingdom. So I'll have a look. I mean, not necessarily the skin that the game chose me, but yeah, it looks really good. Quetzalcoatlus is probably one of my favourite pterosaurs, just because of its colossal size and weird appearance. It is just a shame that this guy doesn't walk around, as I just look at this animal and I'm just like, it needs to walk. Because, I mean, the aviary is quaint. Like, for an accurately sized Quetzalcoatlus, it would probably be adequate. But for this Colossus, yeah, not so much. I think only one pterosaur didn't receive a mod. Yeah, Thanatos Dracon, because it was already as accurate as it could possibly be. So let's see, Tapejara. You can see this one's got those pycnofibers going on its body, and it now looks a lot less like the Tropeognathus that it looked like previously, which is a close relative of Tapejara, but I mean, it might even just be a similar. It might be a very similar species. I can't quite remember what's going on with Tapejara and Tropeognathus in terms of their classification. But here, the crest better resembles Tapejara itself, with being much rounder and a lot smaller. And the males certainly have that more impressive coloration, and I'm not sure where the females are. Ah, here we go. So yeah, you can see the crest is a lot smaller, and not as brightly coloured as the males. And oh, we coming into land with some of the other pterosaurs. Let's have a look at another one. So they've got a nice streak that goes up on their crest, but other than that, there's not much else in terms of the pattern on there, but it looks really nice. I love how this Tapejara looks. And now for our final pterosaur, Tropeognathus. Now there are two, so this is the female and this is the male with a much larger crest on its beak. Oh wow, that is a bright beak! Wow, look at that. That is about as vibrant as you can get. Looks like it just dipped its snout in glow-in-the-dark paint. But yeah, so this animal has also been given those pycnofiber textures. And honestly, it does a lot for the pterosaur's design, because what was once just skin is now covered in a light coating of pycnofibers, which honestly just makes them a lot more appealing and gives a few more opportunities for some really colourful patterns. So I'll now have a look at our female Tropeognathus. I'll speed it up. But yeah, you can see her crest on her snout is more reduced in size, and the teeth aren't actually interlocking on this species compared to the Maaradactylus, which is in the same group, the ornithochirids. But honestly, it actually looks a bit nicer without the teeth spilling out. Look at that.